Well, joining us live now is the outgoing Shadow Home Affairs Minister, Karen Andrews. Karen, I'm sorry to see this news and hear about it yesterday. Is there any one reason that you're quitting, or are you just over it?
Well, thanks for framing the question that way. Look, and it's always been a pleasure being on your show, and it's been a pleasure doing my job both as a shadow and also as a minister. The simple answer is that there was no single reason. I think with all major decisions, there's a range of factors that come into play, but I believe at this point in time, it's important for Peter Dutton to be able to lock in his front bench team that he's going to take to the election. The party also needs to make sure that they get a candidate pre-selected and on the ground here in my seat in Macpherson. So once I'd made the decision that I wasn't going to contest the next election, it was the right thing for me to make that decision public, to step back from the front bench. The reality is that I would have needed to have committed to another term and beyond, and I think it's time now. I've never been a career politician. This is, in fact, my third career, and it was just time for me to call time on my career.
Right, yeah. So you would have had to do another term and beyond. Is that to suggest you feel like you would have still been in opposition after the next election?
Oh, look, not necessarily, but I'm still very hopeful that we're going to be re-elected at the next election and go back into government. And I truly believe that Australia is better off when there is a coalition government. So yes, that I still remain very hopeful that that's going to be the case. But if we're back in government for the next term, then it's really a commitment beyond that. And it's important that Peter Dutton has the team that he is able to take forward. So for whole range of reasons, it was the right time for me to say that it's time to finish up and in Parliament. Given
there's been another slide in Peter Dutton's approval ratings that's out this morning, according to Resolve, do you think he will still be opposition leader in the time of the next election?
Yes, I do. So Peter was elected unopposed, so there was no one else who was standing for Leader of the Opposition at that point in time. He does enjoy considerable support from my parliamentary colleagues, so I believe that he will be the person that takes us forward to the next election. And it's then incumbent on every single member of Parliament, including the outgoing ones such as me, to make sure we provide support to the leader and that we work to make sure that we develop the policies and we are ready to go at the next election and we can go straight into government.
Okay, so sorry to get all negative here, but what do you mark as the lowest point in your time in government, other than losing the last election, I presume? Would it have been the Scott Morrison portfolio fiasco?
Look, sadly, it was. And when that was revealed, to be absolutely honest, it wasn't the fact that it was the portfolio I had responsibility for, which was Home Affairs. I just was devastated that had happened. I didn't think that was any way to run the party, to run government. And I've always been enormously proud of the Liberal Party and the way that it has conducted itself. And I guess perhaps very importantly, it just meant that so much of the achievements of the former government were lost in what had happened with those ministries. Now, that can't continue to be the issue for us, because there were many good things that were done by the former government. The stewardship through COVID, the manufacturing policies, work that was done with cyber, with critical infrastructure, all of those things were fantastic achievements. And I was devastated that all of the good achievements were going to be lost.
Okay, just getting to yesterday's press conference, where you said there needs to be more focus on cost of living away from the Voice at the moment, although it is in itself an important issue, we know that. But a report out today, it suggests that the government should at least think about a significant bump to job seeker, just getting back to the whole cost of living argument. Do you think that should be granted?
Look, I think that consideration certainly has to be given to the government, by the government, as to how it's going to deal with what is in fact a cost of living crisis. People can't pay their mortgages, they can't find their they can't find somewhere to live, let alone pay the exorbitant rents that are out there at the moment. Prices are going up in supermarkets, so people are starting to notice a significant difference, and that's without bringing into the equation the electricity prices. So focus needs to be on how people are going to be supported through these really difficult times. It's something we haven't heard a lot about, so the budget really needs to deliver that. And if the budget doesn't deliver serious cost of living support, then it really is incumbent on the government to say why it has failed Australians.
Okay. What about this push, though, to increase JobSeeker by 40%? Would you support that?
Look, that is an enormous increase to that payment. 40% of anything is an enormous increase as well. Look, clearly there were some commitments that were made by the government to one of the independent senators. But if you're going to conduct a review and then absolutely ignore the findings of that review, then the question remains, why did you conduct the review in the first place?
So you would be against that kind of rise?
I think it's an incredibly large increase, and there would have to be a proper justification for any increase that is close to that. But I'll be very interested to hear how the government deals with the fact that they've conducted a review and then they're ignoring the recommendations.